sweet silver song of a lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on, with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone. When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high, and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of a storm, there's a golden sky and the sweet silver song of a lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on, with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll
I forgot what my cues were to come in, but
Right there is good.
this
Right
song
after,
hit-
right after
this-
this.
right after this. All right, so let me. All right, I'll do my best. I'll get it after about 6 years. I'll get it. What I'm thinking though, when I hear this song, because I read the news, not just sports news, and I see that Germany and France and UK are all putting their World War III protocols into place. I'm thinking Trump better get in there and straighten this crap out, because I have every intention on going to Europe next summer with you and doing all kinds of soccer games.
Dude, we should be on an airplane right now, flying over to Liverpool.
Oh, I know it, bro.
We got to be doing the podcast tomorrow from Anfield. They're playing Real Madrid in Champions League. And then they're hosting Man City, their biggest competition for the Premiership title, on Sunday. What are we doing?
Wait. Man City is somebody's big competition? Have you been asleep? What year is this? Am I in the time traveling machine here or what?
Yeah, I mean, every team's got to have a little bit of a lull, right?
I don't know nothing about soccer, and I know Man City sucks.
I wanted to bring a Man City guest on tonight. He wouldn't come out of hiding.
Can't find it.
I can't get any Man City fans to come out with this. I don't even know what you call this.
If you're a Man City fan and you're watching this on Twitter or X, or well, Twitter is X, or YouTube, whatever, send us a message. Send us a DM. Tell you want to come on. If you're a Liverpool fan, we got a ton of Liverpool fans following us. I've been working on that. We're also accumulating a bunch of Man U fans, but shoot us a message. You want to come on and talk some soccer with us? You're there on the ground. You're like ground zero. We're all the way here across the pond, right? That's what they say, across the pond.
Please join us.
Across the pond, we got to deal with freaking MLS and all this crappy old washed up soccer, which I'm sure we'll get to later. But yeah, man, I just think we're a year behind, and I promise you I'll shut the hell up, because if we would have been doing this a year ago, right around this time, AC/DC announced that they were doing a European tour, which they did last summer. We could have killed two birds with one stone. AC/DC in Europe, and then Liverpool, Man City, Wrexham, all the above.
What were we going to be? Groupies for AC/DC?
Yeah, it's on my bucket list, man. I had so many chances, never did it. Then they stopped touring. Then they came back, they announced the tour, but they only did Europe. And I heard it was really bad. Everything I read, just this is a bunch of old men. They're not any good anymore. But they are about to announce, I don't know if they announced it yet, they're going to go on tour in the U.S. next year, and then that's going to be it for them. Just a few dates.
So they say.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that they're going to. There's too much money still in at stake. So
Touring is the only way for these people to make money these days. Music.
that's what we have to go on a European tour, man. We got to take the show to Europe.
God, man, that would be. I've never been to Anfield. I'm dying to go. I'm telling you, and anybody else that may be watching this, if you have the opportunity tomorrow at 3:00 on Paramount Plus, put on this game, and we can all talk about the fandom that goes on in this country with football and some of these other sports, but you've never experienced, witnessed a Champions League night of football at Anfield. And that intro song that we play for this pod, you got 60,000 plus people singing that song in unison. And they're all covered head to toe in their LFC gear. They're waving all their flags, all their signs. It's unbelievable. It's something on my bucket list to go and to do. But my wife is like, there's nothing else in Liverpool for us to do. And I'm like, it's the only thing in Liverpool for us to do. Like, that's how special a night there for Champions League football is. And go ahead.
I was just saying, all seriousness, if I did not have an 11-year-old in school, and if I was single, even if I wasn't single, if I didn't have this 11-year-old in school, even if I had to poison my wife and get her out of the way, I would become single immediately and move to Europe just for soccer. I don't know what part. I may go, all over the place, like them backpack. No, I'm not a backpacker. Camping for me is like a Motel 6. But you get the point. I'm so friggin' into this. Again, this weekend, football, no. Basketball, no. College football, no. I'm watching soccer. That's what I did. My kid's like, she just looks at me and shakes her head. She can't believe the transformation. What am I wearing?
Sometimes it can be tough to watch, but
I don't find it tough at all. I found it like a chess match. It's awesome. I love it. I can't pull away from it. I wish the games were longer. I do.
Get out of here. It's an hour and a half.
But it flies by.
It does go quick. Definitely goes quick. I would just say sometimes you can get lulled to sleep when there's no action, right? And when I say action, goals. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to see high scoring things, but that's not what this sport is. Like you said, it's a chess match. It's formation. It's tactical. It's strategy. It's everything that I like to enjoy, and I'm good with a 0-0 tie and score. I don't need the huge blowout, but sometimes, like you did on Saturday with this, I don't even know what to call Man City right now. Haven't won a game in the last 6 outings, 5 losses. Never, ever happened under Pep. Pep has never had 5 losses in a row anywhere. The guy re-signs a new contract to stay put. And then today in Champions League, they blow a 3-goal lead. 15 minutes left on the clock. End up tying the game 3-3.
Who are they playing? The Galaxy? That they could blow a lead like that? Or no, not the Galaxy. Was the Galaxy the one that scored all the goals this week, or is it the other LA team?
It was the Galaxy.
The Galaxy.
6 yeah, we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
They played a team from the Dutch Eredivisie, Feyenoord. And, I mean, they're good, but they're in the Dutch league. And they're 4th on points right now in the table. But how in Champions League football, against an inferior opponent, give up 3 goals in 15 minutes? You're sitting on a 3-0 lead. Like, that's unheard of. As we always talk about, park the bus, right? Get all 11 players behind the ball.
Maybe they parked the bus, but they left the door open. I don't want that. But
you know what it is? It's De Bruyne. He's older, doesn't have the legs. He's not starting. Hagelin, is he a world-class striker? But all he can do is shoot the ball. He can't dribble. He can't defend. He's one dimensional. And for all the talk that they have about this guy, it's not worth it. On Saturday, he had so many point blank wide open chances and couldn't execute, couldn't finish. How they ever lost to Tottenham 4-0, if you watched the first 15 minutes of that match, you were like, Man City is going to run Tottenham off the pitch. Tottenham, Robinson, their number 10, puts in a great finish, and then the floodgates just open. And then the floodgates open in the last 15 minutes today. Defensively, they're unorganized, and they're awful. Awful. And they're rolling into Anfield on Sunday. And as we all know, I'm one of the biggest Liverpool supporters out there. This could put away the title for Liverpool. If Liverpool wins this match on Sunday, it's basically game over because they'll have put themselves into a position, and yes, it's only a third of the way through the season, but they're going to be so far ahead that they can just go and hide and strategize the rest of the season that way. Now, that being said, I'm a little leery. They've got some big injuries, and now there's all this contract chatter, right? They've got Van Dijk, the captain, out of contract at the end of the season. Mo Salah, who brought them back the other day and buried 2 goals. He's got 10 goals, 6 assists on the season already in only 12 games. Dude's 32, out of contract at the end of the season. He came out yesterday with some rhetoric about he's more out than he's more in because he hasn't been offered any contract terms.
So where's he coming? Is he coming to America?
I don't think so. I tweeted out today about how the ownership's got to go because how do they not even offer this guy a contract? He's been there 8 years and he's been a freaking godsend. And then they've got their 25-year-old right back, wants to be a central midfielder who's an unbelievable passer, and he's out of contract. And there's talks of him going to Real Madrid. So my point is all this contract chatter can start becoming a distraction in the locker room, right? The manager, the gaffer, already had to address it today in the news conference. Nobody wanted to talk to him about the game against Real Madrid tomorrow in Champions League. They wanted to talk about Mo Salah's contract. So I'm a little bit nervous on how that's going to go. And I can see Man City coming in on Sunday and putting in one hell of a performance against these guys because they're getting so sloppy. They're in 15th place right now for Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
Based off of results for tomorrow, they could drop down to 19th. They should be in the top 8. So, I mean, yeah, you lost the Ballon d'Or winner, the best defensive midfielder in the game. But how does your team go on such a bad streak?
So where did they have to finish to get relegated?
In the Premier League, bottom 3. That's not happening.
In the Champions, where did they have to finish?
So the top 8 move on. Bypass knockout stages automatically go to a round of 16.
Okay.
Right? And then 9 through 24 have to go through knockout stages in February to move on. I don't know if they're even going to be able to climb back into the top 8. They only play 8 games. Man City's 5 games in.
So answer me this, what I'm trying to... So Stockport County plays in the EFL. and they're in fourth place right now. So they have to finish 1 or 2 to get a promotion. If they get promoted to champions, correct?
Correct.
So they stay in EFL and they play in champions? Is that how it works?
No, they'll promote up to champions and play strictly in champions.
Oh, that's it? That's a lot less games, though, isn't it?
Truthfully, I don't know. I don't know what the difference in games is. Now, you're not talking Champions League.
Yeah, Champions
League. Big clubs. Are you talking Champions League in England?
Champions League in England, which is champion. Well, what is the one right now where Liverpool is undefeated in? That's Champions League in England? No, that's not Champions League in England. That's Champions League across
that's
Europe.
That's UEFA. That's United English Football. United Europe Football.
Okay.
So that's the competition where the top 4 teams from each of the big leagues in Europe play every year. And, we dabbled into this a little bit where if you're not making Champions League, it tremendously impacts your transfer business. Because you're not going to want to, AJ Johnson is not going to want to come to Liverpool if they're not playing in Champions League. Every soccer star wants to play on that stage. And if you can't offer them Champions League, they could say, hey, I'm not coming to Liverpool. I'm not coming to Real. I'm not coming to Man U, Man City. It all depends, on how you finish. That's why it's so important. And I know we've debated, argued over what's better, an MLS playoff format or, winning your league. That's why places are so important in these top leagues where you need to finish top 4. So right now, I got something printed out here. I got to double check. Like right now, if the season ended today, Man City, believe it or not, would still be in the top 4. They're still in second place, even after this bad run, because, they've lost 3 games in a row, but they're still headed above the rest of the teams in the EPL.
I got so many windows open and so many soccer windows open. I'm pulling up EPL standings right now.
Yeah,
they're in second place right now.
Yeah, but
23 points, but they're way behind Liverpool.
Right, and now Sunday, Liverpool wins outright. They go from an 8-point gap to an 11-point gap, and that's almost impossible to make up that ground. Because Liverpool can just, I don't want to say cruise and play it safe, but they can tactically set themselves up every game.
You're putting the hex on them right now by saying all this, We're going to be talking 3 months from now. You'll be like, how the hell did we get to 14th place?
Well, and injuries, right? Like, look at this game tomorrow in Champions League between Liverpool and Real Madrid. There's massive injuries on both sides. There's big name, big time players on both sides that are not going to be in this match. So, I hope and pray that Arne Slot, the gaffer for Liverpool tomorrow, just says, you know what? We got a lot of wiggle room with Champions League. We just need to finish in that top 8. We don't have to finish number 1 through this first phase. Rest some guys and get ready for Sunday. Because for them, right now, staying atop the league and getting the 3 points, or even just playing for a tie and getting the 1 point. If they both go 1-1, it's still the same gap. I just hope he prioritizes and makes Sunday the more important contest. But where I'm getting afraid again is I hope all this contract stuff doesn't come into play.
Maybe they're just so good that they're so bored that they just need some controversy. I've seen it, and I've seen it in baseball. Follow the Yankees for decades. You see it all the time.
I'm never, ever, ever, ever following the Yankees. You know that.
All right, so follow the Mets and go way, way, way back to 1986. There was nothing but controversy. Follow
Yeah.
Boston. I guess what's the controversy? We're going to be good this year. No, you're not. Oh, yeah, no, you're right. We're not. Never mind.
Right now, the importance for Liverpool is the league. They're in the Champions League. They just got to stay in the top 8. So even if they play for a tie tomorrow and don't go, balls to the wall, helter skelter with their style of play. And look, you know what? They got fortunate on Sunday with Southampton. Southampton's last place, bottom of the table. And Liverpool had to come back and win that game. And I really, like in football, they always talk about looking past the opponent for the next big game. I felt like that's how it was on Sunday.
Southampton has 4 points. That would have been a really bad loss.
I maybe would not be here tonight if they lost that game.
Wow.
To be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, that's how big of an upset it would have been. And
they don't even draw, bro. They just lose flat out.
Who, the Hamptons?
Southampton. They're 1-1-10.
Oh,
okay. I'm sorry. Okay, so that's 10 draws. No, that's 10 losses. 10 they got one win, one loss, and 10 draw. Yeah, one win. It's hard to get used to the way they lay out these standings because they're different than American standings. But yes, 1 win, 1 draw, and 10 losses.
And what's crazy is Southampton for years managed the season where they would always stay up, right, and stay in the Premier League. Maybe finish 15th, 16th, 17th. No hope of ever winning it. But at clubs like those, the supporters understand that. But they want to see their team stay in the top competition, right? The top league. And the past couple of years, it's just been a freaking quick downfall. And I'll be the first one to admit, Southampton has benefited Liverpool really well over the past decade. We've bought a lot of players from Southampton that have gone on and done awesome, wicked good things for Liverpool. They're a feeder club. They discover very young talent, bring it in, start to develop it. That young talent has some success. The bigger clubs see it, and then they come in, pounce, buy them. Then that club, Southampton, takes that transfer money, reinvest it into new young players, and move on from there. And it's just a cycle for them. They're always going to be one of those bottom feeder clubs at this level. You know what? What's funny is Wrexham might turn into that. Wrexham had a big win today.
You think Wrexham's going to be a bottom feeder club?
If they make it to the Premier League.
I read
they're going to need Bleacher Brothers cash.
No, I read an article last week that says they currently, because of Deadpool and McEnany and the connections, and then United Airlines and blah, blah, blah. I was reading an article that says they have Premier League money. They're getting it from places that the Premier League doesn't necessarily get this much money. So they obviously don't have the TV contracts and whatnot, but they are bringing in so much money that it's insane.
Well, if you get into the Premier League, it's revenue sharing on all the broadcasting.
They may not want to go up then.
That's why it's so important. Well, that's going to be in addition to everything else they get. That's even gravy on the turkey, right? The thing that will, in my opinion, impede them is it's Wrexham. It's in Wales. It's a blue-collar town. They got a Bush League stadium. Even the Devil Rays stadium down in Tampa with no roof is better than that place.
Yeah, but you know what? Fenway's an old, crappy stadium, but name me one person that doesn't want to go to it. Even if you're a Yankees fan, you want to go to Fenway. Tell me who doesn't want to go to Wrexham right now?
Oh, everybody wants to go to Wrexham right now.
I mean, the reality show, and there's reality shows for so many of these fucking. I'm sorry, so many of these teams. There's reality shows. If you go on, that's where I'm learning. What I'm learning is go on Amazon, go on Netflix. It's like every single team at one point or another. I started the whole Saudi soccer league last night, and Ronaldo, right, went to he was their first really big. Yeah, that's I was doing four things at once, but yeah, I'm picking it up. At some point, I'm going to be able to have a constructive, educated conversation with you. Until then, Wrexham.
We're having that, but it's you as the fan can love Wrexham, but is the player going to want to go there, live there? Is the family going to want to go and live there
for enough money? Yeah.
You know, is Deadpool going to knock down the whole town and rebuild it with mega mansions? I don't know, but
I don't think those. I don't think the people of Wrexham want all that. They just want a team that's going to win. Yeah, they'd like a nice stadium, but that's the life that they're used to. And I'm kind of envious a little bit.
But are they going to generate enough revenue from that stadium? I get it. Like they have all these sponsors, but so do all these big clubs. You know, Man U has got Chevrolet as a global spot. You know, like they all have big sponsors. So like Wrexham has got the sponsorship at that level where they are right now. Nobody can touch them in that tier as far as sponsorship, viewership, people wanting to be a part of that journey. But when you get up to the big boy league and you get in with the Liverpools, the Man U's, the Arsenals, the Chelseas, the Man City, they all have FU money. Every single one of them. LeBron James is a 6% owner in Liverpool. He could bring in every single sponsor that he has to go with them. So, like, I get it, and I love the ambition, and I love the direction of this club, and I'm loving the story. But at some point, we got to be a little bit practical here. I'm dying. I really hope that at the end of this season, they're getting promoted again. And then I will be dying next year that they get promoted and they're in the Premiership, because that will send everything off. It'll be incredible. I'm going to love it.
McElhaney had it right. If you go back to that very first episode of the reality series, grew up in Philly. Philly's a blue collar, sort of like Wrexham. I bet you I've been to Philly. I've never been to Wrexham. I lived in Philly. I guarantee you Wrexham is a much nicer city than Philadelphia. But anyway, with all that being said, they are a big sports town. It's a blue-collar town. But he says, I got the idea. I can't buy an NFL team. Let me buy a soccer team. But I only have TV money. So I need movie star money. I need superhero movie star money. And then I need cell phone money. And he started rattling off all the crap that Ryan Reynolds owns. Yeah. So how do you think Europeans look at like all these American douchebags coming over there? They have to be happy. The people of Wrexham apparently love Rob and Ryan because of the huge difference. But do you need Tom Brady to come in and buy like 2% of your team, and LeBron to is LeBron 6% really making a difference?
No, not at all. But he's being a smart investor. He's got a smart financial advisor behind him.
You think it's a smart investment to invest in a soccer team?
I don't think so.
Ooh, you're not going to like what I did this week then.
I don't think so, because at the top level, Tommy wants to buy into Birmingham, so be it. JJ Watt with Burnley, so be it. Like other bottom feeder clubs. To buy into a brand that is like Liverpool or Man U and the wages that they've got to pay, and the overhead that they got to carry. I don't know, but what did you do this weekend?
So there's a team called the Carrick Rangers. They play in the Northern Ireland League. And
And
I stumbled across them. I stumbled across a few different teams, and I did my due diligence the best I could, that are taking on investors right now. So that's why last week I had asked you guys about Slovenia, because I was looking at a club in Slovenia, but then I came across this team, and they are right now they're 6th, so they're right in the middle of their table. Which league exactly is it? I don't freaking know. I went through all this, but the team's been around for a long time. The other one, the Slovenia team, what attracted me to them is they had a bunch of Man U ex-people, like executives. People scouting and, like front office. I don't know if they call it front office over there, but a lot of management went over this Slovenia team. But the more and more I looked at the Slovenia team, it looked like they were just playing on a dirt patch where like an apartment building burned down in Jersey City back in the 1970s. And I'm like, I don't know. And then I found this team. So anyway, everything still has to get officialed, but yeah, I'm an owner of the Carrick Rangers FC. Nowhere near Rob or Ryan. I would just say that, but I did invest I don't know anybody superhero movie star people, so I went to Luch, but apparently Luch is not a superhero movie star type money. So anyway,
I heard through the grapevine real quick that Luch has his own theme song now.
Oh, he does. Luch does have his own theme song. We're working on a theme song for this. We just haven't got the right one yet. But yes, Luch has his own theme song. You haven't heard it?
A little birdie from upstairs told me the other day.
Oh, really? You haven't heard Luch's theme song here?
We put it down each week. Puck drops hard, hear the fans all scream. From the highlight reels, we catch every peak. In the fast lane, we live the hockey dream. Stick handling magic, every move.
This is the last song that guy from One Direction cut before he took a nosedive.
No, it's not.
It's catchy, isn't it?
It's catchy, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, don't make fun of him. You ain't got no theme song. Neither do I.
I know. My son came downstairs and he's like, "How come Luch has got a theme song and you don't?" And I said, honestly, with the intro song we have, I don't need a theme song.
Yeah. How can we top what we already have? But Luch was on the ice last night with Ronnie Brooks at the Rock at Prudential.
I saw that.
Did you see that? Did you see the anthem? That was, I think, the best anthem I've ever heard. I'm not saying this because I know Ron, but that was a really damn good national anthem. I blasted it everywhere. If you haven't seen it, look on one of our socials.
So, investing in this Carrick Rangers, what do you get? Do we get like a box over there? They fly us over there first?
Yeah, so I didn't. So there were different levels. I didn't go that high. There was a level where I could have lifetime season tickets, but what am I going to do with them? Sell them on the European, the Irish version of StubHub? I don't even know if that exists or not. I get my certificate. The club has been profitable for the past 10 years. The club's 100 years old. The club's, their big selling thing was they beat Celtic. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's cool. But
that's massive.
Yeah, I know that's massive because as you're talking about Champions League, I'm looking at Celtic in the Champions League. So I'm like, whoa, I made a good investment here. Look at this. So, and it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't chump change, but it wasn't massive amount of money, but it's fun. I'll have a certificate. I can hang it on the wall. When we go over there, we can go in the owner's box. There's all kinds. It's just, you know what? If I didn't take the money and do this, what the hell was I going to do with the money anyway?
I hope
buy my wife a gift. She's got enough gifts. My kid, she's spoiled.
I hope that at least with the certificate comes a jersey. And then I want to see you repping that jersey on one of these podcasts.
Not just the jersey, but a scarf. I guess scarves are big things in soccer. So I got a scarf with it.
Massive because they stand up and they hold them like this, like a sign, and they stretch them out. And that's another big thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. I don't like their colors. Their colors are yellow. I'm not a yellow guy. There's only
Yeah, I'm looking at the website. Yeah, but you know what? They've been around for 100 years. Good for you, man.
it's fun, buddy. That's all. I'm doing it. I'm in. Can you tell that I'm all in on soccer?
Let me ask you. So, in doing all this research,
Mm-hmm.
did you put an inquiry in to see if you could buy into Wrexham?
I did not. That's but there's no rule that says you can only own one team.
But that's mind blowing because I think that would be the first place that you would have gone to because of you're so into them, and then you could say that, hey, I'm part owners with Rob and Ryan.
Yeah, that you know what? Well, you know what? They can call me. They know where to find me. Info@bleacherbrothers.com. And then if you're lucky, somebody gets me the message there, Rob and Ryan. And like I said, I don't know. Like, look, you got to respect Ryan Reynolds because the dude's been in Hollywood forever. He was there a
Dude,
long time and was a nobody, a very
dude,
long time.
awesome.
But yes, he's awesome. And Rob, he's from Philly, and I don't know if I know a lot of people from Philly, and I don't know if I trust them. So I don't know
Rob
if I
was
want to.
on ESPN Game Day on Saturday.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, he was out there with McAfee and Saban for the whole field goal thing that they do. You know, where they have the student come on and then
Okay.
write him a check for like $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was actually out there with them this weekend, which
Wow.
was a little surprising.
So Rob is leading me to one thing that really pushed me over the top because I've been looking at doing something like this for a few weeks now. So Rob does that Always Sunny in Philadelphia show with Danny DeVito. Danny
Awesome.
DeVito is now the spokesperson for Jersey Mike Subs. I worked at Jersey Mike Subs when there was one of them. There was one Jersey Mike's. I worked for a guy named Peter Cancrow. Peter Cancrow started the franchise. And they told me, because I worked there through high school, went in the Army, came out of the Army, went back to Jersey Mike's, managed the place, $500 a week. That was big money back then. It was enough to drink all weekend, get some weed, even hit the racetrack, and then start all over again the following week. They started the franchise. They said, AJ, you should buy a franchise. $70,000. We'll finance it for you. We know you, so we'll finance it. Should do it. And the witch that I was dating at the time, she's like, what are you going to do? Make sandwiches your whole life? So I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm out of here. Fast forward to a week ago. Pete, do you know this already, what I'm about to say? Peter Cancrow sold Jersey Mike Subs, the franchise, for $8 billion. He has more money than Mark Cuban now. And now it costs $1.3 million to open up a Jersey Mike's franchise. Boy, did I blow it that time, but I'm going to make it up with the Carrick Rangers, buddy.
So the reason why I know that, and I found out last Monday before when public, is my son is in training to be a general manager for Jersey Mike's and then to move on to open up his own stores.
So where, in Wall? Is that where he's on 35? Is that where they still do the trainings?
Yeah. So he actually went to Maryland for 5 months.
Oh, wow.
Back in March. Worked in Maryland from March till April. Came home. They had him wrap up the summer season in La Valette. Moved him to Freehold. Now he's at Ocean. And he's helping to run that store. But yeah, he's in the general manager training. Then once he gets to become a general manager, the next step is for him to start owning stores. So he got the email from corporate because he actually reports to Pete's son.
Yeah, Pete's son is, I forget his name, but yeah, I know them all. I remember Pete used to drive an old beat up pickup truck.
Well, and truth be told, this rumor has been going around for 6 months. You could just Google it, and it will go back to April 1st about Blackstone trying to buy it. And then there was some talk that the kids, the grandkids, they didn't want him to sell. He already has his own plane.
It's $8 billion. Why does he have to hang on to it? He's set. The grandkids are set. The grandkids are set with $8 billion.
I get it, but you know what? He's got plenty of money, and you know they're saying that this is to really expand them internationally. But
and he's not walking away. He's staying. He's staying on as a salaried employee too.
I really want to see what percentage of ownership he's retaining. That's what for me, that's what I really want to see, because in my opinion, that's going to dictate what type of control he's going to have. Because we all know what happens when these equity groups come in. They're buying it for $8 billion, but their goal is going to be to sell it for 10, 12, 14 billion.
So screw calling Wrexham. I'm going to call Pete and see if Pete wants to go in and buy the entire Carrick Ranger team with me. Then we start climbing the ladder.
That is a brilliant freaking idea, because he could pay cash for that club. You and him could roll over there. He's got the briefcase with the.
He could pay cash for Wrexham with $8 billion.
I don't think Reynolds will give it up.
No. Why would they at this point?
No, they would be the only owners in sport besides Jerry Jones and Hal Steinbrenner to sell their teams. They'd be the only two owners.
Yeah.
It would be insane. Listen, we're getting long here.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. That's what I do.
No, it's great, because we both got skin in that game, right? You used to be there. My son's there now. And he's loving it, by the way.
But they ruined it. And this is what Treadstone or Blackstone can do to make Jersey Mike's whole again. They took the TVs out of Jersey Mike's. And that was the whole thing, is they would have TVs in there and you would have a game. So you could have the Liverpool game on. You go in, you get your sub, you sit down, you eat it, you have the Yankee game. It's just a whole different vibe now. I go into there's one right here. I can walk to it from where I'm sitting. And it's just not the same. When they took the TVs out, it changed the vibe of the place. And
do you know that he paid out of his own pocket to refurbish every single store? Where usually you put that on the franchisee.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, to the tune of like $185 million.
Wow.
And they just honored him at a Point Pleasant Beach football game, because that's where he went to school.
He was a good guy. I can tell you. I've worked with a lot of people. I've known a lot of people. Most people are scumbags, and I have no use for them. Peter Cancro is always a really good guy. The only thing bad I can say about him is I invented the Club Supreme, and my name should be on it, and it's not.
The number 9?
Yeah, I think it's the number 9. Yeah, the Club Supreme. We used to make it all the time, and then him or somebody, John Hughes.
That's my go-to.
Yeah, we invented that thing. Me and a guy named John Hurley invented that sucker.
Henry, if you're watching this, that'll be crazy, because he brings me home a number 9 at least once a week.
So I should be entitled to part of that $8 billion. I mean, this is the United States. You can sue somebody for anything. I'm looking for an attorney, one of those 1-800-222-2222 people. Get a hold of me. I want part of that $8 billion. What's that?
Why don't you call Saul?
Yeah, better call Saul. Didn't he end up in jail? I don't spoil it. I haven't seen the last season yet. I know I'm like 5 years behind, but.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I was never into that show, and I had nothing to watch, and I put it on, and I fell in love with it.
Yeah, it's a good show. It was a good show.
Yeah, it's an amazing, fantastic last season. Catch up.
I will. I'll get caught up when I have time. Right now, I'm very focused on my Carrick Rangers right here, but we have plenty of time to talk about them. Let's move on to your
I got
your show.
I got 2 quick things that I wanted to talk about. Number 1, down by you, Inter Miami today.
Mm-hmm.
Announcement. I don't know what to think about it. I'm not sure if you know anything about this guy.
I do. I did. I did a little bit of homework. You said I don't know if we're gonna make it past like 40 minutes tonight, and we're gonna run over by the time we get done. So hopefully your Club
already
Supreme
over.
is still waiting for you.
Yeah,
No,
we're
I mean
already-
we're gonna run over the hour, but I think everybody's on Thanksgiving vacation this week, so we should be okay. But go ahead. Yeah, I learned a little bit about this guy today. He came from like coaching a youth team.
He was coaching the U20 Argentina side. Now, I have a spot in my heart for the guy because he was at Liverpool. But guess who he played with?
Well, he played with
At-
Messi at one point,
At
right?
Messi, at Barcelona. And he played with Suarez. And he played with Jordi Alba. And he played with Busquets. Now all of a sudden this guy is coming out of nowhere to coach the top team in the MLS. You want to talk conspiracy theory?
Joe Girardi played with Derek Jeter, played with all those guys, and then got hired and took him to the World Series in his second season or first season. I think it was his first season. He took him to the World Series in the first season. So this seems a little bit goofy to me that the guy came from teaching basically high schoolers, coaching high schoolers up to the top team in MLS. But what the hell do I know?
Everybody deserves a shot.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody should get an opportunity. We could sit here and say this guy's going to be terrible, and the next thing you know, he's running circles around people. I just think it's interesting because Martinez was a Messi guy, an Argentinian. This guy is an Argentinian and is a Messi guy, and he played with the 4 stars on the team. So I'm just curious at how it's gonna all play out and how it's gonna roll once the season next year gets started.
What kind of player was this guy? He's not on the level as far as Messi and those guys, obviously.
Well, he was a holding midfielder.
Okay.
He was a unbelievable holding midfielder, and Liverpool couldn't hold on to him, and he left. But he's a fantastic player, but he's not an offensive player. That wasn't his responsibilities. It's him to hold the line before the back line. He's a demolition expert. He's blowing up dribblers with tackles, fouling, stopping play to slow things down. And he was really good. There's a reason why he was at Barcelona.
So if you look at it, what did getting bounced out by Atlanta right away in the Cup, what is it that Inter Miami needs? What did they need to correct? What did they need to improve?
Depth.
Does this guy have the answers?
They need depth and they need youth.
Well, maybe this guy will take some of his teenagers up with him from the other team he was coaching, and there's your youth.
Yeah, I mean that's really what they need. You can't depend on Messi at 37. I don't even care what league it is. Even with Ronaldo over in Saudi Arabia, he's not doing anything either. Like you need playmakers around you.
He's cashing checks.
He's cashing paychecks. He's cashing paychecks. I think Ronaldo's getting like $180 million a year over in Saudi. And I know Messi, I don't think they've ever put out, but that whole TV package with Apple TV, he's getting a percentage of all those MLS buys. I don't know what that percentage is, but he's making money.
Still not as much as Peter Cancro has. I'm going to find that bitch that said, "You want to make sandwiches your whole life?"
So I thought that was an interesting thing with MLS today, and then I wanted to end with what do we think's going to happen this weekend in the MLS playoffs? And do we put all our chickens in one hat and just bet the farm on LA Galaxy winning this thing outright?
Well, we were way off on Atlanta, weren't we?
Way off.
Yeah, way. And so I didn't get to see that game, but I immediately after last week's show put some wagers in, and I got them at 35-1 to win the whole thing and to move on. I was shocked when I got home and saw that they lost 1-0. LA just looked unbeatable, bro. Those what the hell is that guy's name? Puig?
Yeah.
Is that his name in LA? The what do you call him? A striker?
Striker.
Yeah, I mean the guy who I guess he would be a right wing is what I back in my high school days what it used to be called, but he was incredible, dude. I think he had 2 goals the other day. He didn't get the hat trick. He had 2 goals. He could have got the hat trick, but he failed on a PK.
All I can say is how in the quarterfinals, actually the semifinals, right? Because they're in the Western Conference right now. How in the semifinals, number one, do you give up 6 goals? And number 2, how do you put 6 bangers in?
Yeah, it was like playing with no goalie. It was exciting. It's a good game. Who did they play? They played Seattle. Is that who they played?
No, they're playing Seattle this weekend.
They played Seattle this weekend. Whoever the heck they played.
Here, I can tell you.
Yeah, I forget. I have it right here. They all run together. It was easy. New York played New York. That one was easy.
I had it up here too.
But I'll pull it. But the team that they played hadn't given up 5 goals in like the last 5 games.
Yeah. When I saw that score, I had to do like not even a double take. I had to do like a triple quadruple take. Because I'm like, what? 6-0? That can't be real. Minnesota.
That's right. Yeah,
I don't even know what I'm talking about. It wasn't even 6-0. It was 6-2. But regardless, how do you let in 6 bangers in a semifinal? I don't get it.
They got some really, really, really good players on that team. I was going to say my novice opinion, but I own a soccer team, so yeah, I wouldn't say it's a novice opinion.
I mean, you got to be pissed. Your team lost.
Yeah, I mean, I'm disappointed, and I know that their coach got fired. I don't know if that happened today, but I'm not invested enough yet where I'm heartbroken. My theory's always been this, and I don't care what sport it is or how much I like the team. Whether they win or lose, the next day I still got to get up and go to work.
No doubt.
I'm not one of those guys who sits around and cries or busts my TV or any nonsense like that. But I guess that. So wait a minute. So who plays who next?
So you got Red Bulls at Orlando.
And then LA at LA?
No, Seattle.
Oh, that's
LA. Seattle beat them. We were on here with Nick last week, and we all thought it was going to be an LA conference final. It's not.
Yeah, and LAFC was the 1 seed, right?
Yeah, and I got to tell you, man, like, I got a good gut feeling about Seattle. I'm not saying for you to bet it. I got a sneaky feeling here. You come off a 6-2 drubbing. You're on cloud 9. I don't know how they're going to show up and play this weekend. I would not be shocked if Seattle won this. Seattle's got a big history and resume in this league, and they were the creme de la creme for a long time. It wouldn't shock me. I think on the eastern side, I think Orlando's a no-brainer. I don't see the Red Bulls beating them, but hell, what do I know?
And where
All
is
I,
that game? That game's in Orlando, right?
that game's in Orlando. They're the higher seed.
Do they play this weekend, or do we have to wait? Like,
No, they play this weekend.
okay,
Yeah, so like if we go, I think they're playing Saturday. Yeah, you got Orlando Red Bulls at 7:30, and LA Seattle at 10.
I love those late games, bro. I love them.
Yeah, so that'll be a good night leading into that absolute hammer on Sunday, which is Liverpool, Man City. I'm stoked, bro. Two hammers this week: Real Madrid, Man City, both at Anfield. You should fly up tomorrow. We'll go up to Darcy's for 3 o'clock kickoff.
I was just going to ask you where are you watching these things? It's a little. I think it's a little too cold up there for me right now.
Oh, today, man, was freaking beautiful. I was gonna play golf, but work was in the way. It was
Don't you hate it?
beautiful out today. I'll be at one or two places tomorrow at 3 o'clock. I'll either be at Darcy's Tavern to watch this game, or I'll be at the Shore House.
At the Shore House. What is the Shore House like with the Situation and Snooki and all those people?
No, it's a bar it's a mile down the road from me. They're geniuses. They have a freaking shuttle.
Oh, that's right. You told me about the place. All right. Yeah.
So you text them, you call them, they come pick you up, and then when you're all pie-eyed at the end of the night, they drive you home.
Matt, I would take you up on this invitation, except I just spent all my money on a soccer team.
Yeah.
So
Well, plus we have Thanksgiving on Thursday.
yeah.
But yeah, I'll be at one of those two places tomorrow to watch this. And like I said, win, lose, or draw tomorrow, that's not the priority. Look past this game. I don't care if he calls up all the B team players and plays them tomorrow. They're solidified to finish in the top 8 for Champions League. That's all that matters. We got to throw the hammer down on Man City come Sunday.
Well, it'll be a complete failure if you don't, because everybody else is throwing the hammer down on them.
If you could find the time on Sunday, try to watch this game.
I will. I'll watch it. Is it a 9 a.m. type of deal for us?
You know, they had freaking Liverpool on late this week.
It all works. What am I doing Sunday? I'm doing nothing. I'm watching. Well, I got to find where the hell I could see the Carricks at, and then after that,
well, they should give you the free TV package to watch them.
They should, those bastards. I'm gonna need to renegotiate this whole thing.
So you got them 11 a.m. So perfect. Get up, you have your coffee, have a little bit of breakfast, tell the wife and the kids. Go. Well, my wife and kids will sit there and watch the game with me, but I got to tell you, like the last 4 to 5 matches between these two clubs have been insane. It's turning into a crazy rivalry. It means so much, and this Sunday it's going to mean everything for Man City because, like I said earlier, if they lose this game and drop the 3 points, that's a huge gap.
It's a good time of year, buddy. It really is a good time of year. And there's no breaks anytime soon now, right, with the soccer?
No, we won't get a break now. I can't even tell you that. Maybe in March we'll get another international break.
Okay.
Maybe sometime in February or March. But from here, December, January, it's jam-packed, brother.
And the MLS will start back up in March or April, right? They don't take much time off. Is that correct?
Couple of months.
Yeah, I'm digging this.
They'll be in training camp in February. Like these European leagues, they finish the end of May. They're back in training the first week of July. They get a month of holiday. That's it.
Man, I love doing this show, bro. I canceled my show tomorrow night. I said, you know what? I'm way too big of. I'm on that level now of Macaulay and Deadpool as an owner. And LeBron, look at LeBron. LeBron's an owner, and he only works like once a month, and he's out for maintenance and lower body injuries and all that. That's what I am too.
You're on the level of Brady, J.J. Watt. Who's the dude that plays Apollo?
Apollo, Carl Weathers?
No,
Creed?
In Creed, the kid.
Oh, Michael B. Jordan, not Michael Jordan. Michael B. Jordan.
He's a freaking owner.
Of what team? Because I don't like him. I just don't like. You ever see somebody you don't like the way they look? I just don't like the way he looks.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like him. I've never seen the last Creed movie because Rocky's not in it, so I refuse to watch it.
I watched it. I don't remember it.
No, it's been great then.
Oh, look at he's a part owner of AFC Bournemouth. Wow. Wow. So he's in the top tier, my man. His team's in 13th place, right behind Man United.
I'm coming for you, Michael B. Jordan and Tom Brady and Deadpool and Rob McElhaney.
Here's the problem: the team you invested in is not in the English football.
Yeah, but they could get to the champions.
Bro, if your Carrick Rangers gets in the Champions League, we are having one epic throwdown of a party.
Oh, we are.
It's crazy, man. I appreciate it.
All right. I am getting yelled at by people who are not on vacation and said, "Hey, you're in our time." So
we gotta go.
We gotta dip out. Let me get our music back here.
I'll see you next Tuesday. Have a great Thanksgiving, and as always,
yes, happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Tune in. Hurricane Watch is up next. La Stella Report after that.
All right.
Great job, Matt.
At the end.